Yo, what up? We are back. Urban Absurdity.
I was thinking all yesterday. I said,
Did I catch you off guard?
I wonder is he gonna say it?
You know what? That's what fucked me up. Could you tell her I got a mental thing now that you gave me?
It's like literally there.
Dude, it's because of you. You sponsored that shit.
I am not sorry.
You know, we got to guess. We can't can't really
We'll
just argue this
Let's
show.
save this for later.
Okay, we coming back to it though.
We will.
Hey man, in my opinion, we got an icon sitting here.
We do.
This dude, you know my favorite character in Trippin' was Fish. This nigga was roasting the hell out of Anthony Anderson and Robo Legs. All right. Radio from Life, man. Credits like that.
Amazing.
Been around forever, man. God Torry is in the house with us, y'all.
Yes. For the record, I got to represent.
Oh, he made it known.
Oh, do you see it?
That's dope, man.
He got to take it off because he got to, okay.
He's like, let me take this jacket off, let everybody see this. St. Louis versus everybody.
No, read it.
Everybody.
Okay, my bad. See, man, okay.
Everybody.
So can we explain that? Is that the mentality for God Torry in 2021?
Absolutely, man.
What?
You know, I'm from the first greatest city in Missouri.
Oh, 2 shots?
I know we in Kansas right now.
How long we been going?
I know y'all rep Kansas City, Missouri too. So
no,
just for the whole area.
I do.
No, we're one and the same.
Oh yeah.
It's like East St. Louis and St. Louis, I guess.
So is it beef up that way like they do here, like from like right over the water? Like, nah, y'all not a.
Yeah, man, we mess with them Jimmies every once in a while. But, you know, some great people came out of East St. Louis.
Listen, the fact that he waited for this though.
Oh yeah.
The fact till the cameras was rolling.
Exactly. I know my cue.
He's like,
I've been doing this a long goddamn time.
I see.
He said, when the lights come on, I'm coming out.
You save it for the camera. You save it for the camera. You see the reaction that got out of y'all?
Yeah.
On camera.
Right.
That was unexpected.
Right.
Very much.
It was.
I wasn't expecting that.
Exactly.
But we respect the shit out of it, though. You know, we
I
got
see the hat you got on. You rocking that case.
Yeah.
Man, we're going to get into you, though, bro. Let's take 1 year back, 2020. I talked to a lot of comedians lately, man, and there was a lot of different stories on how COVID, like, affected the comedy industry and how it, like, affected them personally. Yeah. How was 2020 for God Torry?
Man, I needed 2020, man. I hate that people lost lives and lost jobs and lost, businesses, man, but I needed 2020, man.
Yeah.
2020 was the year of Nate Robinson, right?
Uh-huh.
We all came out at the top of the year with promise, and this is going to be our year, and our vision boards. We got knocked out in the fucking third round, which would be March.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
It was a year of Nate Robinson, man. We had high hopes and went down fast.
And hard.
And hard.
And some people didn't get back up.
Yeah.
But the thing about it was, man, I needed it, man, just for my body and my mental. It was also the year of the pivot, the year of the Akeem Olajuwon, the dude who had the center with the best footwork, who can pivot into paint. So that's what it was too. You had to learn how to pivot and do other things in 2020 because your way of life was different.
Yeah.
And you had to be creative, and you had to make moves.
Yeah.
But to me, it took me off the road. My worst year financially, as of income, because of no shows going on.
Yeah.
And thank God I had I survived because I didn't need assistance. I was good, but my body needed that rest because you got to realize I'm on the road 30, 40, 35, 40 weekends a year.
Oh my God.
Right? I'm doing 250 to 300 shows a year.
Yeah.
I drink for free.
Yeah.
I drink for free.
Yeah.
Between mixed drinks and shots, I'm doing 4 shots a show. Mm-hmm. Right? That's 300 shows a year. That's just Thursday through Sunday. So, the stress of traveling, the stress of packing, the stress of airports and being on those planes and being in hotels and then the shows and everything. And then you're eating bad when you're on the road. You're entertainer, you get fast food most of the time. That's what's open late when you get off stage, or you're eating comedy club food. Some comedy club food is terrible. Bad food. At the age I am, that's a recipe for death.
Yeah.
So taking me off the road and allow my body to kind of heal and recuperate from years and years of that same behavior. Hey, I needed 2020. I take anything negative and find a positive in it any damn way. You give me anything negative, I'm gonna find a silver lining in it. Mm-hmm. So it's I'm gonna find a way to make it good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing comedy?
Shit, my whole life, really. I mean, just professionally, maybe 29 years, 28, 29 years. Yeah.
Because I read something about you went to college at Southeast Missouri State University, right?
SEMO.
And they said that you were throwing comedy slams like inside of like lunchrooms and break rooms and shit.
Not knowing what it was. I mean, it was like Jonah. What we do in school. What you do on the school bus. You know, what you do on campus in the student union. You know, so it wasn't really comedy shows, but I would joan on people, you know, and people would gather around. Yeah. So it became a show. Mm-hmm. You know, so in college at SEMO, we had this student center where you could eat. You know, you had the cafeterias, but you had the student center too. They had restaurants in there. And, you know, I would sit in front of this big window, me and my boys. And anybody walk past that window, we would clown. So after a while, after a couple of weeks, people got wind of it. And, like, it was around the same time every day. So people just start crowding around, like at 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday, to see who got clowns. So you can walk past that window and get clowns. And that's how it started. So I wasn't really, selling tickets to shows. I wasn't even a comedian, but that's what we did. Mm-hmm. And then when I got kicked out of college and went and worked.
Wait.
You can't just skip past
Wait. When you got kicked out of college?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
I hit a cop.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I hit a cop.
I thought it was behind the comedy.
No.
It's a little deeper.
The way they whooped my ass wasn't funny. That was
oh, man.
But no, I went back to St. Louis and started working. So every store I worked in, every job I had, I brought comedy with me. So my coworkers and stuff would gather around the same time. Worked at a little department store. Like a Walgreens type store, but a bigger type Walgreens type store. Grandpa Pigeons, what they called it in St. Louis. So whenever I took my breaks, I'd be in the break room clowning. So everybody want to take their break when I took my break.
Yeah.
And
so everybody stopped working when you went to break.
The whole store in the back.
And it's like, yo, what time is the show? I'm like, what show? They're like, what time you taking your break? I'm like, oh. So then, so that's how it started, man. And then in that same time, my brother Joe had already moved to L.A. and was already making things happen for himself. Yeah. And, I was just like, fuck it, Why not me? Yeah. So moved to L.A. and the rest is history.
I was about to say, you had to get a lot of courage from that if everybody's just waiting on your breaks. In the high school, you got everything. I mean, in college, the shows and everything. So if everybody's waiting, they had to encourage you. So you were never, afraid to get on stage and do it, were you?
You can be afraid, but, I heard Dave Chappelle, he made a very very smart statement in my documentary that I'm doing. He said, "You can be." He said, "I can be scared, but not a coward."
Okay.
You can be afraid, but not a coward. You can be scared to do something.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're gonna do it. You're scared, but you're gonna do it. But if you're a coward, then you're gonna not do it at all.
That's dope.
That came from
and deep as fuck. Damn.
Yeah, that's the great Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I saw a picture. Hey, you know what? Go ahead.
I just want to know. I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't walk past this window if I knew that 1 o'clock.
I thought about that too. Why they keep walking past the window?
Here's the funny thing about that. People who knew would start running past the window. So you'll see people running past the window. You'll see people stop and make a funny face because they know we're talking about them. Yeah. And you see women walk fast. They want to run, but they walk fast and kind of look, to see if we there. And like, we see, bitch.
I'll be like, I'm not going to sixth period this time. I'm not
How
going.
big was this window? Like,
it was huge. It's longer than this wall. It's like a student center.
Oh, okay.
So it's like huge. Mm-hmm. I would say about at least, I don't know, 40 yards.
So walking down that hall was like the Apollo.
It wasn't the hall. It was
get booed out of that.
It was the outside. So you had to walk past this to get in.
Okay.
So you kind of couldn't avoid
worse.
it.
That's worse.
You kind of couldn't avoid it.
So that's how y'all welcome, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yes.
Welcome to Southeast, goddamn.
Yeah.
But you said, I read that you went to New York. You moved to New York.
Well, yeah, we grew up, we Army brats. So, I originally grew up was born in California, Northern California, in Seaside, Monterey. And then, parents kind of separated for a minute. Dad had PTSD from Vietnam. So, my mom kind of like broke camp and went to New York. And then she didn't like how we was growing up in New York, so she chose St. Louis, where they lived before I was born. And then Pops was like, you know what? Let me get back with my family.
Okay.
So yeah.
So did you learn when you moved to New York or when you went to a different place, like, I need to learn how to like Jones on people?
No, I mean, I was young, but at the same time, I mean, you grew up in a family with 6 kids and another brother, like Joe, and another brother and a sister. I mean, 3 sisters and 2 brothers. I mean, it's just natural. Yeah.
So are you the youngest?
No, I have a little sister.
Oh, okay.
Who's funny too.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's funny.
Not everybody. Joe's not really that funny.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm joking. He's a little sensitive about that.
So I was about to say, is there like a friendly competition between you two guys, or is it like turned up 100%? Like it's all competition.
I compete with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't compete with anybody.
Ooh.
If somebody want to compete with me, that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
I compete with me.
Okay.
That's good.
I definitely get that.
That's like golf.
I am my competition.
It's like golf. When you look at a golf, Tiger Woods ain't competing against Phil Mickelson and El Nino and all those guys. He competing against the course.
Yeah.
So I compete against me. I'm the course.
Okay.
So I'm competing with myself. I don't have, have competition. Mm-hmm. Now, if y'all want to compete with me, good luck.
Yeah, I was about to say, because a lot of people might not know about your writing credits. And as far as like the Martin Show and Moesha and things like that, how did you get started as a writer?
Man, shit, rent got to be paid. You live in L.A., man, you better find a way. Other than selling ass, you better find other ways. A lot of ass selling going on in L.A.
Yeah, I would rather write then. You know what? I'll fuck it. I'm going to write.
They sell their whole and they soul out there. So,
that first year rough.
God damn.
Okay.
It's rough. It's rough in Hollywood streets.
Gotcha.
So no, I started as a PA on the Martin Show, and Martin was always encouraging me to learn how to write. And one day he told one of the other writers, producers, like, yo, give guys a script.
Yeah.
So we and this the writers assistants got together. And we wrote an episode of Martin. And then after that, I started doing punch up for other shows. Punch up writing, for those who don't know, it's like you don't write the script, but when let me break it down for you for a normal sitcom.
Okay.
When you have a sitcom, you're gonna have at least 12 to 13 or 14 writers in a room, right? In the writer's room. Mm-hmm. Each writer is assigned 1 to 2 or 3 episodes a season. Usually a season is 22 episodes in the old format of TV.
Right.
Everything has changed now. But back then, you have 22 episodes of a show. Sometimes, you'll have, 29. Yeah. But you have 22 episodes. And so each writer is assigned 1 to 2 to 3 scripts. And then when they bring their script to the table, to the writer's room for that episode, you're reading it. And then everybody has an idea. They're pitching jokes or pitching storylines on that one script to make it better. So you still get full credit for being the writer for that episode, but you got 12 to 13 other writers, pitching jokes, pitching storylines. Oh no, I think this is better, or we did that in episode 4 or whatever, or that's not, that's not current with what we're talking about. So that's what happens. And so I was assigned a script, and me and the writer's assistant, and we wrote it, and then it got tabled and things like that. But the bulk of it is yours. You wrote most of it. It's just somebody comes in and punch it up. So that's what my job was on other shows, punch up. So I'd come in and just sit there and punch and jokes. Oh, it'd be funny if Martin said this, or if Tashina said this, or if So that's what a punch up writer is.
Okay.
Wow.
But
see, we learning something on here.
I know, right?
I ain't knowing about that shit.
I didn't either.
So I did that for Moesha. I was a punch up on a show called Minor Adjustments. Wendy Raquel Robinson was on the show, a UPN show. And so I wrote a full script on that one with Reggie McFadden, another comedian. But other episodes I was in there just to punch up shows. And they use punch up writers on like award shows. You see somebody hosting an award show, somebody hosting the Oscars or the Grammys or the BET Awards. You have writers that come in and write for the host. And then you have people coming in and punching up jokes.
Man, I see a lot of people like being aspiring writers now.
Right.
So if you could like answer their questions on how do you get into writing, because of course, like for guys like you, grind on the road, get known for stand-up comedy and credits like that, it's you know, people be like, okay, you know what I mean, I want your brain on paper, you know what I mean? I want some of your comedy. But for a regular Joe who wants to be a writer, how would that even work?
And study. I mean, you can either take classes or just read books on it. Start writing spec scripts. Start writing scripts. If you want to write half hours, write half hours. You want to write 1 hour dramas, write 1 hour dramas. You want to write theatricals, film, then write those. There's books on it. There's classes on it. And I don't know if they still have it in LA, but there's a writers program you can get recommended by, a top writer, and they send you to this school, Warner Brothers School of Writing, I think, or the Disney School of Writing, and then you can go through that process, or just write a bomb-ass script, get you a lawyer, start submitting it, start shopping it, protect it, because a lot of scripts get stolen.
Yeah.
And then voila, you set your prayers on, and hopefully your prayers are answered.
Have you had a stolen script or a stolen joke?
I have a stolen jokes, stolen ideas, a lot of stolen shit. There was a popular show on HBO years ago that it was my idea, but I was young at the time, didn't know any better, didn't register it, and it got done. It was a very successful show too, and this kind of let me know, okay, on the right track.
Yeah.
If they took my shit.
So make it positive out of a negative again.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. It's like there's way more where that came from.
Got you.
It lets me know that, okay, my ideas people like. So, yeah, it happens. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why you got to protect your stuff. It's very simple. WGA.org, WGA.org, which is the Writers Guild of America. You can go there if you have an idea for a script or whatever. You can go there, you submit it, and that's one way of protecting it.
Wow.
Damn. You're dropping some straight jewels on this.
It doesn't keep people from stealing your shit.
Okay.
Because sometimes big studios will take your shit and dare you to take them to court, and they can afford to take you to court.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like they did with The Matrix, you want to understand, The Matrix was written by a black woman, and it was stolen. And then she waited. It blew the hell up. She took him to court, and she got pizzed.
Oh my God!
Wow.
The Matrix was a major, because if you look at it, I mean, you look at the whole concept of the Matrix. It was basically based off the Bible. Neo was Jesus, the one come to save the earth. The same thing. If you think you have all power, when you think outside the Matrix, the Bible tells you have all power. You think be in the world, but not of the world. Yeah. So if you look at the parallels, and the black woman wrote it. That's why in the movie, the Oracle was black
okay.
woman.
I didn't think about it like that. But I do believe there's still ideas, though, because it's already happened to me. I submitted an idea, a pitch. I sent it to a... See, this is how green I am. We started this shit. I'm feeling good, like, oh, shit, I got ideas. So I sent it to the big studios. I ain't gonna mention their name, but like 45 months later, I saw my shit. I saw my fucking pitch, like, wow. So... But it does make you push. Somebody said, what you going to do? I'm like, how the fuck?
Now you got to listen. If you're not going to drop the name of the studio, at least drop the project. Let us figure it out ourselves.
All right, the pitch was, well, we doing it.
Okay.
Exactly. What you're doing, like my pitch was to have up-and-coming comedians all the way up to the legends. And we do a podcast, kind of like Drink Champs does for hip-hop.
Right.
Like, really get into the culture of comedy and have the OGs, had George Wilborn on here, get some good stories. You know what I mean? Had a whole array of comedy. That's what I sent them before I actually built it. Like it was a pitch.
And that's not that original.
No,
now what you
check this out. I'm gonna go a little bit further.
Okay.
The email that I sent them, and it was crazy because, like I said, this wasn't a standalone email to where I send it to I can show a copy. This is something that you submit, and once you hit it, it's like it's theirs. But like what I wrote in my head, I put together this reel because I'm figuring like, hey man, you gotta, you got some shit that, if they want to look at you,
right.
you know what I mean? So at least talk like, you a businessman and shit. Right. So I worded it properly,
right.
And I swear to God, the goddamn caption of this shit looked like damn near exactly fucking word for word what I put, and it was 4 months later, and it started getting random comedians. You know what I mean? It was like, well, nobody doing that. But I could be big headed. I don't give a fuck.
No, I mean, it very well could have been. Inspired by that, or it could have been taken from that.
They took my shit. Hey, I'm Midwest, bro.
Right.
I'm born and raised in Chicago. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it real all the way around.
Right,
you know what I mean? I just looked at it and it was just like, it was just strange. But like, I told a couple people, like, sometimes you ask people like, am I crazy? You know what I mean?
No,
and three people, they was like, Man, it's legit. And then some people say, well, man, that's what they do. Like, you know what I mean? That's the big studios do. They drive for ideas and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
and,
look
yeah,
for something.
and sometimes it could be one person, and the studio doesn't know that person even took it from someone else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It could be whoever the email went to.
So the intern submitted my shit, took the credit. We gonna have
could
to.
Have.
Nah, I'm just.
He said could have.
Could have.
We gonna get back into you.
I mean, when you do something like that, you have to register it, right? And also, I mean that's not a ingenious idea.
So the word was it ain't proprietary, as they
right.
say.
Exactly. Because I mean, how many stand-up shows can you do? Like Def Jam, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta so just because another person does one doesn't steal their idea. Now how can I make it different from Def Comedy Jam? How can I make it different from Comic View? How can I make it different from Heart of the City? You know what I mean? So each show is trying to find a way to add their own little spin on it to sell it, because a network is going to want it. You know, if HBO had Def Jam, then Showtime want their version of Def Jam, but different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then BET, and this is what it was. Def Jam was raw, uncut, and you know, brothers and sisters from the fucking hood.
Yeah.
Straight, no chaser. So then BET came around, which is a family network. We're gonna do the same thing but clean.
Right.
So that's how they sold their show. So you got you know, raw over here. You got, you know, good shit, family shit over here. So same type of show, but different point of view.
Yeah.
Then you got Heart of the City, which is stand up too, showcases, but they go into certain cities, picking certain comics, having an OG from that city who does stand up, give some words of advice. See, they put their spin on it. Mm-hmm. So you just got to find, it's like they say, you can't reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah.
We heard that saying 1,000 fucking times.
1,000 times.
I say you can't reinvent the wheel, put some new rims on that bitch, though.
Exactly. There you go.
So that's all you got to do. You ain't going to reinvent live stand-up comedy. You ain't going to reinvent a podcast, interviewing comedians.
Yeah.
Just put some new rims on your shit.
You know, you're right. You're right.
I love
edit all this
this.
shit out
Look at all these jewels falling.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I got to ask another question about this.
Because if that's the thing, you're going to be butthole hurt for a long time if anybody's stealing your ideas.
No, you got to get past it. Like
Right.
I told them, I'm going to present shit different now. And now it's getting to the point to where I'm just going to direct my own shit. Like, I ain't sending nobody no script. When I send it to you, I'm going to send you a season. You know what I mean? You can't steal this.
Right.
You know
Or just
what I
get an attorney. It's submitted through an attorney. Entertainment attorney.
We ain't got no money yet, guy. You know what I mean? We still.
Here's the thing. See,
we
that's
still the little people.
That's an excuse. And that's why you'll always be a little person if you use that excuse.
Okay.
So what you do is you find an up and coming entertainment attorney who trying to learn to get the experience too. That's why I tell people all the time. In today's world, there's no fucking excuses.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in Hollywood, and you have to be in New York and all these big cities. You can shoot movies and shit on your phone and edit it on your phone. Mm-hmm. If you're in that city, find somebody who's an aspiring writer. Mm-hmm. And get with them. Find some people who want to be aspiring actors and get with them. Find somebody who's aspiring director and get with them. Find somebody who's aspiring camera person.
Yeah.
Get with them. All y'all get together like Voltron and motherfuckers activate. So now you got a writer.
Yeah.
You got actors.
Yep.
You got director. You got a DP, director of photography. Mm-hmm. So what's the fucking excuse? And you find somebody who wants to be an editor.
Yeah.
And you get them edit, and y'all come together and buy each other lunch and pizzas and whatever and make your shit. Now, all of you all have a reel. You got a reel as a director. You got a reel as an actor. You got a reel as a writer. You got a reel as a DP. You got a reel as a director. So it's like there's no excuses, especially in today's world. Look what you all doing right now.
Yeah.
This ain't a fucking radio show. You're not a radio station.
Yeah.
You got a space. You got lights. You got a dude in a tight-ass baseball shirt, Kansas City Royals shirt to shoot. You got your own microphones, and you doing it.
Hey, man.
We're like, what did I do?
It's a Royals
like,
shirt.
baby, I got pulled over today and got Torry went in on me. I just need my feet rubbed.
The same fucking shirt that stole the World Series in 1987 from the Cardinals. I-70 series. I'm petty and I hold grudges.
He went back.
He is petty. He is petty for that shit. This is muscle. I'm not growing
he said
this
too soon. Just give it a few more months.
What I do?
He looked around. So what was it like to have a successful show at the Comedy Store?
Oh, it was, it was, I say this all the time. Well, not all the time. I've been saying it recently. It was an assignment. And the assignment came definitely from above for me to create a night to showcase talent that was not being seen. And, there's no way with the experience that I had back then and the lack of funds that I could have done it without it being an assignment from God. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
That's interesting because I hear so much about the Comedy Store, especially back then.
Right.
And everybody had to like go through it or just go through different like little comedy houses and places.
But Comedy Store was the one. That was the one that was the most respected around the world, basically. So for God to have placed this comedy night that he put in my spirit to create there was nothing short of an assignment from the above.
So was it important for you to build your own name? Like not since your brother was already out there?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Tupac was always on me in my head, like, yo, get out your brother's shadow, create your own lane. And and that was constantly in my head.
To just go ahead and get it on your own and do it.
Yeah, Tupac. I met Tupac. Of course, my brother did the movie Poetic Justice with him, and I met him, and Tupac loved comedy, right? So he would always frequent comedy clubs and things like that, and comedy clubs and comedians and rappers, hip hop artists, one and the same basically.
Yeah,
they just got music to it. We writers, we it's set up, execution, delivery, Thank you, all of that. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, I read something. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's not sure about this, so I'm going to ask the man. It says year one of the original Kings of Comedy you were hosting?
Yeah, first host of the Kings of Comedy tour. We actually, I think, one of those shows was actually in Kansas City, I believe. At, is it Memorial?
Memorial Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memorial Hall, yeah. 90 and 97. I hosted. I was more like the prince of the Kings of Comedy because I was only doing comedy 5-6 years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, Bernie, and Cedric were already, they weren't OGs yet.
Yeah.
But they were already in and solidified as on their way to greatness.
Yeah.
And they tapped me as a host. Walter Latham tapped me as a host, and Steve, Bernie, and Cedric picked me. Said okay. They okayed it, and I got to host. Probably one of the greatest tours I was on, and learn from those guys. That's why I say it was so great. So I learned from Cedric, I learned from Bernie, I learned from Steve.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great experience. And I left. I left the tour voluntarily. People say, "Oh, you got fired." No, I left voluntarily.
I was about to say they said you landed a movie on UPN or something like that, or
a TV show.
Okay,
Yeah, landed a TV show on UPN, paying me 10 times as much as I was making on the Kings of Comedy show. But I didn't leave for that reason. I had left before that, and when he asked me to come back, I had already, landed the show. But I was a comic when I started it. And being on tour with Bernie, Cedric, and Steve, I became a comedian. Big difference between a comic and a comedian. Those guys were comedians. Comics say funny things, comedians make things funny. And being on the road with those three, giants, learning from those guys, I had to get into the clubs and really just grind out an act. Because I had jokes, but I didn't have an act. And it's different.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? So, if you want to sustain an audience for 45 minutes to an hour, you got to have an act. Can't have just jokes. When someone leaves a comedy show, you want them to leave with a piece of you. You want them to take a piece of you home with them. Bad or good, but you want them to take a piece. But if they just don't remember who the fuck you are, what you said, they just laughed, then you're a comic.
Okay. So do you
in my opinion.
Do you regret not doing it?
No, not at all. I don't look back. I look forward.
I get you.
If it was supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen.
Yes, sir.
And the experience I gained by hitting these comedy clubs, because I went on a comedy club, so I had toured like that, and like I'm doing now in these comedy clubs. That's the gym. Comedy clubs are the gym. That's where you work shit out. That's where you find your voice. That's where you tighten up jokes. That's where you write more jokes.
Yeah.
That's where you gain experience. That's where you fuck your liver up
with your 3 to 4 shots.
A bit of alcohol.
A show.
Do you think it's important for someone who's trying to break out in comedy to do it like in different places, in different states or cities?
Absolutely. I mean, that's how you gain material. That's how you get experience. You gotta put yourself in situations to experience different things so it can reflect in your stand up. You know, you gotta make yourself a fish out of water. To really find what's funny. Find that funny. Find that experience. Make it shit relatable.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because, man, I just think the people that you just named, the kings of comedy and things like that, touring with Bernie, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, they ain't been in the movie Life with Eddie Murphy, Bernie again,
Crazy.
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
Anderson.
Man,
That
bro.
cast was amazing.
I don't even know where the fuck to start. Like, how was it being on the set of Life?
It was interesting because at the same time I was doing Kings of Comedy, Bernie and I was doing the movie Life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with Bernie Mac a lot.
Wow.
And just being on that set, another godsend, another assignment for me to be a sponge and learn and have that on my resume to get in certain doors.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't by accident.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was definitely purposeful. God had a reason to put me there, and you know, it paid off. I was a sponge, just learn. You always gotta be a sponge and learn. When you're learning from such greats like that, incredible. At the same time, bam, bam.
Yeah, because I just saw you in a picture with Paul Mooney. Rest in peace to Paul Mooney and
man.
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
It's like, I know the comedy world took a big hit with that. How did it like affect you personally? Because I know you said he like gave you a lot of wisdom in game and stuff like that. How did you feel on that?
Paul Mooney was funny because Paul Mooney used to see my brother and I, Joe, and Joe's being older, and was telling Joe to look out, watch his back, because I may have the Belushi syndrome. You know, Jim Belushi was famous from Saturday Night Live, and then he died. And John Belushi, I'm sorry, was the older one who was on Saturday Night Live and then died, and that's when Jim Belushi's brother blew up. So,
yeah.
So
Oh,
Paul Mooney would tell Joe, "You
that
look
sound
out."
like a Paul Mooney joke. That's harsh.
Yeah, he said, "Joe, guy waiting on you to die so he can blow up." Thank God I didn't have to wait for Joe to die to blow up.
Yeah. Thank God that didn't happen, man.
So you just went out to LA and just started working.
You know, things happen pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie, and that's not everybody's story. But the thing about it is, because of the lack of experience, I had to learn quick. So I overly prepare. You know, I'm all about prep. I'm all about being ready, because the lack of experience from acting experience or just real stick. Cause I did Def Jam after 2 years of doing stand up. You know, and Def Jam was the biggest stage. One of the biggest stages of stand-up back then. We talking New York City. We talking Def Comedy Jam. We talking motherfuckers gotten booed and damn near slit their wrist after the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was only doing comedy for 2 years and was able to be on the show, and not just be on the show, but do well.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that was important because I leapfrog a lot of people.
Were you nervous about that? Getting on Def Jam and doing that set?
Half and half.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I had put the work in.
Yeah.
And when I know I put the work in, I'm not worried about it.
So you knew you was ready.
I knew I was ready. I
Yes,
thought I was ready the last season Martin hosted, but I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
But that when I did do it, I was ready. I mean, I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grinded. I said, fuck everything. You know, I was in comedy clubs every night, 2 and 3 times a night, almost 6-7 days a week, just grinding. When you're in LA and so many spots and pizza parlors and comedy clubs and old juke joints you can go in and do stand up.
Yeah.
You can it's about those reps. Got to get those reps in.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of booed, have you ever been like booed or just had a bad show?
I've had a lot of bad shows. I mean, that's how you grow. You know, I'm very hard on myself. My first standing ovation, I hated my set. I didn't even know I had a standing ovation. I was at the Def Jam tour. I was in Detroit, and I flubbed 2 jokes. I'm a perfectionist. And I flubbed 2 jokes.
Yeah.
And I said, good night, and just kind of like dropped my head and walked backstage. I was kicking shit, being a little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And Kid Capri came back, you know, after they brought the comic on. Like, what's going on? I said, man, I fucked up that last set. I fucked up 2 jokes. He was like, man, they stood up. I was like, what? You got a standing ovation? I was like, what?
Damn.
And I was even
Okay.
I was even more mad. Like, damn, I really cheated him then. Because I mean, with stand up, man, you know, it
just means you take your craft seriously. You know what I mean?
have to, man. I mean, I had big shoes to fill coming behind my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had leapfrog a lot of people to get on Def Jam. There was so many more comedians deserving more than me, so I made sure I had to be fucking great.
So did that cause any problems with any comedians?
I mean, not to my face, but I can tell some haters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can I won't say haters. I just tell there were some people who wasn't really, thrilled. Put it that way. Hey,
Okay.
we're so quick to throw a hater term around, and it's so overly used, like icon.
Yeah.
That's so overly used too.
Man, I look at icons though as about the impact that the people that they were with, and the people that who impact the craft. Like if you because a lot of things are behind the scenes. If you don't really research you, like sometimes people like Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney was like the dopest fucking comedian ever. When I found
agree.
out, like I was young when I found out that he wrote for Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
I don't remember what age, but it was like, okay, Richard Pryor is the dopest, and then you, like all of a sudden we introduced to this dude, well me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. Then when we started researching him, it was like, this motherfucker is the dopest, the greatest. Just hearing him talk, hearing his messages and his jokes, and find out he wrote this or he's responsible for this, that makes you an icon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They throw it on somebody who been out for 2 years, and you know what I mean, whoever make it to a stadium first, but that ain't really it.
I think it's somebody, if you impact the culture.
Yeah.
You really impact the culture, like Michael Jordan changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Quincy Jones changed the game. Michael Jackson changed the game. Janet changed the game. You know, Jay-Z changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Snoop changed the game. You know, people who are game changers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they really impact the culture, and last not only to their generation, but generations that behind them,
mm-hmm.
and they still look up to them and say, to me, that's the definition of an icon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people I just named impacted the culture. You know, Russell Simmons. You know, the culture. Denzel, icons. They changed. You know, if you inspired, so many people to try to take that same path.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from generations on, not just your immediate, surroundings or generation, but generations to come. Yeah, that's iconic status right there.
Yeah, exactly. And you got a lot of game too, so you got a big responsibility ahead of you because they looking down on you, bro. Like anybody, like just to be in that circle is like a big responsibility. I feel because I saw you with Dave Chappelle and Marlon Wayans like not even just a week ago. Like
that's what my
something going on with Dave. I've been seeing the random pictures with people. He cooking up something down there. You gonna tell him? You gonna tell him?
Dave is a genius, man. Dave is an icon.
Yes.
You know, Chris Rock, they're icons. Dave just raised the bar again with the Midnight Miracle.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast he put out. I was happened to get a sneak preview when I was in Ohio filming for my documentary,
mm-hmm.
and he and Talib Kweli was there, and he let me hear a lot of it. And the way they mixed it and did, he raised the game again for podcasts.
I heard a clip of that. It was like music, and it was like he was narrating.
It's bigger than that,
bro.
man. If you ain't up on it, get up on this podcast and get up on the Midnight Miracle podcast. And we need stuff like that. We need geniuses to do that to help us raise our game,
mm-hmm. rather
than just mailing shit in. Oh, he did this. Okay. And you don't really want to copy, but
mm-hmm.
find your way to be,
Yeah.
I tell people all this. I say like this. When you're on the freeway,
mm-hmm.
all right, my job is to want to inspire you. I don't want to keep you down. I want to inspire you. I don't want to carry you. So when we're on the freeway, we all on the same freeway,
mm-hmm.
right? All going in the same direction. But don't draft me. Be on the side of me going the same speed.
Exactly.
Don't let me burn more gas because I'm pulling you on. I'm going to pull you on so much. After a while, you're
mm-hmm.
going to have to like break away from me and either keep up with my speed or pass me.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if you pass me,
mm-hmm.
but I ain't going to keep carrying your ass.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. So I heard Snoop say it one time, you bring people to the table and, the levels may change, right? You may do different things, but the gap shouldn't be that far apart.
Yeah.
If I'm here and we all came in around basically the same time and you still here,
mm-hmm.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
And if I'm giving you game or brought you to the game, then it's your job to do what you got to do to keep it with me. It ain't my job to keep giving you shit for you to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
I brought you in, introduced you to the right people. Now, no, go do you. Don't do me.
Yeah, exactly.
So go do you. That's what I said about the podcast. It's a podcast. 1,000, 1 million podcasts out there. How are you gonna make your podcast different from everybody else's? Everybody, whatever you do, not just podcasts, find your it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your it? You don't know what it is. You don't know when you find it, but when you find it, you're like, oh, that's it.
Okay.
You just gotta find your it. What is your it?
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna separate you from everybody else in this fucking world? You can be doing the same thing, but you gotta be different. That's what's so great about God. Most humans has have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth and ears.
Yeah.
But we all look fucking different. Even identical twins ain't really identical.
Yeah.
So even though we doing the same thing, find your way to stand out from the other motherfuckers doing the same shit you doing. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of that, for people who are like how comedy is now for on the internet, like people just becoming stars or just making a name for themselves due to skits or you know how it is now. How do you feel about that versus old school comedy?
God bless them. That's their way in. That's their way in. That's their portal in. I had Def Comedy Jam and Comic View and shows like that. The generation before me had the Tonight Show and all those late and Arsenio Hall show and those things. Every generation has different ways, different portals into the industry, the entertainment industry. And this happens to be this generation's way in. Now, where I step off from that is if you're going to do stand up, then you got to be true to that game too. You got to put in those reps. You know. You have to put in those reps. You have to be on stage. And why not have the best of both worlds? Why not be able to do those dope-ass sketches that they do, the skits that they do, and be a dope stand-up too? That's going to make you even better because what's happening is a lot of these young women and men are doing dope-ass sketches. I mean, I take my hat off to them. I'm not that... If I put my time into it, I could be, but I just don't have the time. Mm-hmm. I wish I could, but I may not even have the talent for that medium. But, you know, a lot of them are doing that. Then they go do stand-up. They haven't really put in the time for stand-up. They're selling tickets. They're selling out. Mm-hmm. But then after 5-6 minutes, some of them are fizzling. And you got to do a 45 to 50-minute show. And so some of them, not all, some of them will start stealing material, which ain't cool. Or what they're doing is they're not giving a good full show.
Yeah.
And what's happening is where I'm kind of like a little salty at is that you never know who's coming to a comedy show for the first time. So if somebody's coming to see you for the first time, they saw your sketch, and they come see you live, and I say first time at a live comedy show, and then, you know, it's whack, they might not ever come to a live show again. So now that's fucking with my money.
I didn't even think about that.
That's fucking with Tony Rock money.
I didn't think
that's
about it like
with
that.
Tony Roberts money or Joe Torry money. You fucking with my money now because now people saw live stand up and this is my first impression and that, oh, is this what it is? So you got to go on that stage and beast it. So why not have the best of both worlds? Why not be a dope ass sketch artist and a dope ass stand up as well? But put the work in. And some people, I mean, you already, in some ways, it's putting the cart before the horse. Because, you know, when I came into the game, you grind, you build your audience, and your audience follows you. So they see you grow, they grow with you, boom, boom, boom. In this generation, they're putting the cart before the horse. They're building an audience. Mm-hmm. And then they go on stage, and a lot of the audience members aren't sold.
You're right.
So, you know, you want to be able to do both.
But is it okay to know if you are good at something or if they say, I can write a sketch or I can do a skit and act that out and I'm great. Stand up is not my thing. Like, I can't.
Yeah, but and they should. But they can try it, and if they try it and it's not, and they're not willing to put in the work, then step away.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is, like, they don't affect my road dates. I'm still working consistently every year. But there's some comics who are veterans, who are dope, who aren't getting those club dates because somebody's taking them, you know, from, you know, the sketches, and then they're not even doing good stand-up.
Yeah.
But there's a few out there who are fly, who do both well, you know. So it's just work on your craft if you're that way. And if you and I understand the stand-up is instant money. You know, you do a show, you get it right then. I get it.
Yeah, I was about to say, a lot of their managers talk them into it. I'm talking to a lot of people like, man, I didn't even want to do stand-up, but you get pushed into it because, like, hey, them tickets will sell because of your name and the followers and shit like that. So,
well, then who worked for who then?
You know, that's a good question.
That's the other thing with young artists. You know, when you have an agent or manager, let's not forget they work for you. Mm-hmm. They get a percentage of your money. So they're there to advise you. They're there to negotiate contracts and deals. But you, at the end of the day, you have the power to say no. Mm-hmm. If it's some shit you don't want to do, then don't fucking do it. I'm saying it in the same sentence. Pray on everything. I do.
Yeah.
If I don't know, if I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know. Let me give it to God and see what God say. And then bam, I go. And every time I haven't, I did something I regret doing. So
that's deep. Okay.
So have you turned down anything like major for that reason? If
a
you
lot
gotta,
of shit. A lot of shit I passed on. A lot of shit. Hollywood had to do a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit. I'm just gonna put it like that.
I can see it in your face. God damn, man, I'm sick of this shit.
Keep telling my agent I don't do those type of roles. Come to me with that bullshit.
So especially now, over the last like maybe 5 years or something, the roles that they send you have changed, like coming from Hollywood.
Well, I mean,
Hollywood.
I haven't completely stepped away from acting. My focus isn't there right now.
Yeah.
I really want to be able to impact and help young comedians tell their story.
Yeah.
And that's my assignment, I believe, is because comedians, you know, we don't get the respect that we should. You know, we're more than just punchlines or jokes or court jesters and clowns. A lot of us are healers. A lot of us are doctors. We're teachers. We're motivators through our stand-up. And we don't have a band. We don't have backup singers or dancers. It's us and that motherfucking mic and our jokes.
Yeah.
That's all we got. So a lot of our stories, our origin stories, are incredible. And sometimes you never get to know them. So
that was the pitch for the show that they stole, man. That was the pitch, to find out and let everybody know those layers to the comedians that nobody knew. You know what I mean? Or even the ones that you do know. They interview comedians certain ways unless you Eddie Murphy. Or we all get to see Eddie interviews like, you know what I mean, 100 times. But when the last time like I see Vlad, I see got Torry on Vlad. I see got Torry on. It was a few more.
Good interview.
Yeah, it was a decent ass interview. Shit, I had to look and see. Yeah, I cheated a little bit, but
no, you didn't cheat. That's doing your research.
Yeah,
that ain't cheating. That's smart.
But there ain't a lot of outlets that's looking for the comedian. Like I had Mike E. Winfield on it, hilarious brother, but not a lot of people know who he is.
Well, my documentary, you know, we learned, and before we started filming this time, when I started filming my documentary for the Sizzle years ago, and I started interviewing comedians, and I was like, man, they got some great stories, but a lot of this shit ain't gonna make it, unfortunately, because it's not what I need for this piece.
Yeah.
You know? So I created another show that's sort of gonna be, you know, in that realm. But yeah, I mean, it's these stories are incredible by comedians, but not just comedians, but, you know, casting directors and actors and writers and things like that. So everybody has a story.
Yeah.
It's just finding an outlet for it.
Okay. Hey, well, man, that's what we want to do. Like, as far as like, all right, one more question, because this is how my mind works.
That's what you're going to do.
That's what I'm going. I already got the space down the hall.
Because you got to change your language.
Hey,
change your language, you change your life. Change your words, you change your world.
You know what? I do respect that and love that. I messed up and made a misstep, but I already got the space down the hall. Like I go rent space and then do shit.
Right.
I don't wait because
can't wait.
Ain't nobody gonna hand you shit.
Can't wait.
Podcast, like, anybody want to give us no sponsorship? We do it our motherfucking self. Shit, we don't need y'all to get no celebrities.
It'd be
you know
nice.
what I mean? We'll grind.
But if you would like to, just
yeah, we
you
need
know,
y'all.
You ain't saying no,
but y'all still don't see us though.
At any time.
You know what I mean? But what's the first step? Like you say, you created this show. Everybody know, got Torry, you in the industry, so not to go say it's easy, but you know the right people. If you were going to create a television series, like say you want to shoot a whole season by yourself, fund your own stuff instead of pitching it.
Never use your own money. Go ahead.
Hey, but you know what? All right, let's talk about that. Is it bad to fund your stuff with your own money? Because sometimes people ain't cutting no checks.
It's not bad. I mean, especially if you're going to do a sizzle. I mean, you got to spend some bread out of your pocket doing the sizzle. But then, you know, you just got to find the
I have no idea what the sizzle is.
A sizzle is like a trailer of what the show is.
Okay.
So sizzle can be anywhere from 3 minutes to 7 minutes. It really is just a overall, it's a pitch. It's overall what the show is. You know, when I did my documentary, the sizzle, it took a minute because I had an hour sizzle, which is not a sizzle, and then I had to cut down to 30 minutes, and then 18 minutes, and then I think 12 minutes, and then 6, and then end up being, you know, 3 minutes.
Okay.
So if you can do it in 3 minutes, that's because people's attention spans are short.
Yeah.
So if you can do it in 3 minutes, what's the show? You know, what is it? What the documentary was? You know, a comedy that I created. These people came through. These things happened. There was drama involved, and it went away. But the impact was important. So you got to find a way to convey all of that in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do you think? Okay, so which one would you suggest to a person? On paper, the on paper pitch, or
Both.
both?
Yeah, because here's the thing. You want to do a sizzle, because sometimes people got to see it.
Yeah.
They have to just, some people don't have vision. So for those blind motherfuckers, you got to have a sizzle. Right?
Okay.
But you also can
I'm
have
gonna start saying sizzle. I'm gonna be saying that shit for like the next 2-3 days. Like, Bianca, about this sizzle.
I'll be like, hang up, go to sleep.
All right, go ahead, bro.
But you also got to have, you also good to have a deck. And a deck is like, you can do it on paper, but it's like a PowerPoint, like Keynote, for those of you who have Apple, but it's a PowerPoint thing. And it's really just a synopsis of what it is. If you have pictures, some cool pictures, you know what I mean? Maybe some quotes from people who are going to be in it, and and it can be a good maybe 5 to 6 page deck done well. It don't have to be that long, but mine's a 3-part series, so it's going to be a few pages. But you can have both and say here, and you can have it on paper or you can have it digital. You can email it. It's easier to get it to people.
Right.
Have your sizzle, have it protected. Put it in a file that expires where they can't download it. They can just look at it and things like that. You want to protect it, you can watermark it, which means put a when you look at news and they got CNN in the corner or ESPN in the corner, that's watermarking your shit so they know who it belongs to. A lot of people do it on Instagram.
Yeah.
They'll post something and put the @ so so people know this is my shit.
This my
Somebody
shit.
else reposted it.
Yeah, I was about to say watermarking is crazy because now they put it like in the middle.
Right.
They used to put it like on the little
right on the side.
You got to because people will cut your shit out.
You can cut it like.
They put that shit right in the middle.
Crop that shit right out.
If memes taught us anything, watermarking is important.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. So watermark your shit, but it's good to have a sizzle, not to be confused with the other sizzle that's in Miami more than weekend. It's a whole nother sizzle if you're into that. But
yeah, I don't even.
Yeah, you don't
I ain't even gonna comment on that. I don't know what the hell that is.
But yeah, so sizzle and a deck.
So and a deck was
and everything's on the fucking YouTube. So if you don't know how to do it, there ain't no excuses. YouTube that shit, and they would teach you how to do it. So I don't want to hear any excuses.
Okay, before we do anything else, I have to ask you about my favorite movie. I saw it in high school. My teacher showed us, and I was like, oh, my God. American History X.
Oh, I thought you were going to say some of the porn I did.
God damn.
I was going to... What high school did you go to?
I was going to ask about those after the show, but...
no. Is that my movie with Beyonce called Deep Butt? What? No.
Deep
Butt? No, American History X. How did you go into that movie? Because that was different. That was very deep.
Another assignment, another godsend. Going back to my comedy night, they saw me there, and they was there to see another comedian. And I can't say too much because it's going to be in the documentary, but they were there looking for another comedian, and I went up, and they ended up giving me the part over the other comedian.
Wow.
I think because I was cheaper, probably.
I don't need that much.
but
just put me in this shit. Fuck.
Yeah, they put me in it, and man, that movie changed my career.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was the first dramatic role that I did. So it showed Hollywood, hey, okay, he's more than just a stand-up.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about it is, people get so surprised when they see a comedian do dramas, and there should be no really fucking surprise. We're dark, twisted, fucked up individuals anyway on the inside. And if we tap into that darkness, that drama, that the reason why we do stand up, then we'll make great dramatic actors. It's the fact that most comedians don't want to turn their funny off. And they're and sometimes it's just a muscle that's involuntary that wants to find a joke. When you have to completely abandon that, want to find a joke and tap into your dark side, and you can play a dramatic character. So I was able to do that with American History X, but also make it light. So it was a weird balance of being able to tap into the dark side, not go for the joke. And, I was funny looking, too, with my raggedy ass teeth, so that helped, too.
Wow, okay.
It was a good movie. Great.
Did you just watch it?
No.
Recently?
Well, no, I watch it every time, like, I see it come on. Because it's just
It's
really
a dark
good.
movie, though.
I'm about
But
to say,
yeah,
I've only seen it like twice.
I'm in the mood to be.
But
It's a dark-ass movie.
I gotta watch some comedy.
But it does make you see how
How
you
America
can be-
is still like that?
how it's like that, and then how some people who are blinded by it
Yeah.
really start to see things when their life changes, or
Right.
I don't know. It's just a good movie. I like it.
And so, it's funny. It's not a week that goes by that someone mentions that movie to me. That someone said
telling you,
they
it's
they
good.
did a paper on it in college,
I had to.
Phil Jackson talks about. No, not Phil Jackson. Some of the former Lakers said Phil Jackson used that movie in their film study when they were going against the Sacramento Kings, and that gave them motivation to beat the shit out of them.
Damn.
And law enforcement tells me, oh, we studied that in school, on class, or in the academy.
Yeah.
So it's always been used for so many different ways of teaching or motivation.
Wow. That's dope, though.
It was. Okay, so we have questions that we ask all of our guests.
What the hell you been doing already? We just
uh-uh.
your whole
These
hour
are more
question.
specific.
This is a little bit deeper.
What the fuck?
The
we
fuck
doing for
y'all
that?
been doing then?
But we've been playing, but we really gonna ask some questions now.
Yeah, we about to turn this shit up a notch.
We done looked on the dark web. No, okay. So we asked, what are your 5 favorite comedians and your 5 favorite comedy movies?
That's a tough one because I've been influenced by so many.
Well, you can give us 5.
And so what you're trying to say is who's on my comedy Mount Rushmore?
That's
the
right.
question that you really want to ask.
That is right.
Who's
and I'm
on
gonna
your
take
comedy
that
Mount
too.
Rushmore?
I'm gonna take that too before you get it. Get your lawyer.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no
it
copyright
changes.
there.
It changes when my point of view changes, but it's Pryor, Murphy,
Okay.
Whoopi,
Damn.
Ooh,
A
wait.
new one on the list.
Wait.
and I like man.
Ooh.
Carlin,
Okay.
George Carlin for his political, Chris Rock for his political satire, Dave Chappelle for his honesty. I mean, it's too many. I'm like a pot of gumbo when it comes to stand up. They all, have influenced me. Martin Lawrence for his physical and his just overall execution. My brother, of course, because he inspired me to get into stand up. So it's so many.
I knew you. Listen,
It's too many.
everybody
What's that,
else.
12?
You are the. Right, I'm on 24. You have to be difficult. Everybody
of course.
else. Everybody.
That's my it.
But we going to give it to That's his it. He just told us. So write all of them down.
I'm shorting this list. He said everybody. Okay, movies though. Movies.
Comedies or just movies, period?
Don't we
We're gonna
usually
say
go
with
comedies?
Comedies.
Okay.
Comedies?
Yeah.
Man, comedies, I would have to say Blues Brothers.
Oh, yes.
I would have
That's
to
a good
say,
one.
damn,
Any of your movies?
no,
Said not me.
Not yet.
excluding my movies. Damn, what fun comedies?
Ooh.
Damn it, any Eddie Murphy movie. You know what? Norbit.
Ah, yes.
Uh-oh.
Fucking love Norbit. I don't care what
Yes.
anybody
Man, it's time to
says.
start talking. Like, what the
Norbit
hell?
is one of my
Norbit?
favorite movies.
That was just on the other night, too.
Love Norbit. I don't care what anybody says. Soul Plane is one of my favorite movies.
Wow.
I'm serious, man. Comedies. That's so comedy because my dramas are completely different.
I just want to let you know, though, that this list will be shared with other celebrities when we come through.
I don't
They
give a
usually be action and stuff, so you know
All
what I mean.
So what did I say? Car wash.
Wait, did you?
I just
I
said
didn't
car
even
wash.
say car wash.
You said car wash?
You
Did
said
he?
Blues Brothers, Norbit, and
Blue-
Soul
okay,
Plane.
okay, then.
What
Then
I
car
say?
wash,
Car wash?
Okay.
Blues Brothers, Norbit, Soul Plane,
Okay.
and
One more.
I'm going to watch all that shit this week.
damn.
That sounds like a good
There's list.
movie night.
That fool said, "Where's Soul Plane at?"
Damn. Shit. I would
Something-
have to
something you
say
just probably watched.
something I just watched, a comedy. Oh, you know Rush Hour.
There you go.
Rush
Yeah,
Hour.
that's the first time that hit the
Rush
list.
Hour 1.
I like him. I like the franchise.
Rush Hour 1.
That nigga said, I'm all about the franchise,
I
baby.
like the
I know I
franchise.
gotta put the in parentheses. The franchise. Okay, this is a good list. This is a good list. Unfortunately, my other computer isn't working, so I can't tell you what others shows.
okay.
But this is different. Like this whole, I don't think there is anything. Probably Blues Brothers. I think somebody said Blues Brothers.
Whoopi Goldberg shocked me on the comedians list, though.
Wow.
That was dope because I don't think I've never heard her.
Yes.
Like, I don't think she get enough respect.
Well, she says she's not a stand-up comedian, but she does her characters and her one-woman shows are epic.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm old enough to remember Whoopi. A lot of these youngsters have no idea. She's just
They
the
just know
View,
her from
the
The
lady
View.
on The View.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I
she's
mean?
an EGOT. I think she may have the first EGOT, if I'm not mistaken. EGOT is she has an Emmy, a Grammy,
Oh.
an Oscar, and a Tony. Tony
Yeah.
Award you get on Broadway.
Yeah.
So she has an EGOT.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
dope. That's dope.
You know what's so interesting too about this list?
What?
Guy was the only person that we didn't have to say, give us a movie that would be considered a white movie.
Yeah.
He just automatically popped off with
He
it.
just started firing movies out. So,
pretty
you know what I
good.
mean?
Well, Eddie Murphy movies aren't black movies. They're just movies.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
considered black movies.
Yeah.
They're just movies.
Yeah.
Because he's huge crossover
Yeah.
appeal.
Well, I just want to know, because you said you can do the camera, that's not something that you choose to do. So in a I guess from what you like to what you least like, what would it be? Like acting, comedy? Writing.
Now creator, director, producer. I like to produce. I want to put everybody in place and have everybody do their thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more fun.
Okay. So since you've done it, it's better to see other people kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. I think God took me through those steps to be able to appreciate each one of those jobs and be able to know what I want and know what I want and who I want to put those things together. So it's like, I know I can look at someone's camera work and say, okay, yeah, I like that. I can look at their directing and say, okay, yeah, I like that. Look at someone's writing. So that I want to be able to put all the pieces in place.
Got you. Okay.
Dope.
And there was one more question I usually ask. If you could be any other profession, like just any other, what would you be?
Beyonce's thong. It'd be a hairy situation, though. I'll sweat it out.
Are they hiring? I ain't heard nothing about that shit.
I cannot.
Rihanna's panty line.
I cannot. This fool said, but I'm going to sweat it out. No.
Kelly Rowland's bra.
Hey, man, that's some good jobs. All good careers. All good.
You know
All
what?
good careers.
All great careers.
No. God, you got to pick a real one. I'll put
They
that.
ain't real?
But I'm gonna put that to
Where would you all be without thongs, bras, and panty liners? That's a real job.
No.
Say that to the panty liners.
They are underrated. They are underrated out here.
I can't deal with y'all. No. When you were 10.
I like this dude, man.
Look,
For real.
look at this shit. When you were 10,
And when I was 10,
did you want to be a fireman?
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
A firefighter. And then as I got older, I thought I was going to be in the NFL.
Okay, I'm gonna put all
And then,
this. This
and
is pretty
then,
good.
but more passionately,
Do
a
not.
panty liner, a thong, and a bra.
I knew you was going.
punchline.
I already knew it. I already knew it.
I
was
could have been.
coming.
I smelled the setup a mile away.
I didn't say tampon.
No, well, it's okay. I got what I wanted. I got the answer.
I didn't say Kotex. I said it would be a panty liner.
The NFL?
Yeah, I had skills. I had football skills.
Well. Look at
I
this.
said football skills, goddamn. I had them.
Did you hear me? This comedy thing was
Don't
a
let
choice.
this comedy shit fool you, goddamn.
I was an athlete.
Okay.
That's
Or
dope, though.
as Charles Barkley said, an athlete.
I just want to know, in such a dope time, how did you even touch the Martin show? Like, how was it? Maybe because it wasn't as, I don't know.
Wait a minute. Wasn't
No,
you
well-
bad, Martin, on that one?
Yeah.
Didn't you try to get at Gina? Like, am I tripping? Okay, bro.
Well,
I didn't throw that in there because I was like, I think I remember him being that dude.
How I got the job was my brother Joe. Joe and Martin were friends. And when I got to L.A., he's like, Joe didn't want me in his pocket. So he went to Martin and said, "Hey man, my little brother's in town. You know, you have anything over at production he can do?" So had a meeting over there with the production coordinator, and ended up being a PA, which is a production assistant. So that's basically a gopher, a paid intern, basically.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're getting coffee, you're running scripts, you're delivering scripts, you're running errands, the whole nine. Whatever the show needs support in, you're that guy. So I was that guy, and that's how I got my way in, and then the rest is history.
But that's even to be a gopher is just to be able to soak up everything.
That's why I say it was my best job in the industry, because I got to learn what production is.
Yeah.
And I got to meet so many people behind the scenes.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Making those connections, man. That's what it's all about, too.
That's crazy. And then you got to hang with Tupac?
Yeah, I met Tupac through my brother Joe. You know, they've done Poetic Justice. And like I said, Tupac was always hanging around the comedy clubs.
Man, that is dope, man. Just had those experiences. Bernie Mac, give us,
Bernie was a beast.
Man, before we get out of here, because I've had like 5 comedians give me a good Bernie Mac story. I love them. Now, of course, I'm going to have to get some Paul Mooney stories, man, but give me a good Bernie Mac story. What's the funniest or the most, just the dopest thing he ever told you?
The Bernie Mac story was when we were on the set of Life. Like, usually when you're on the set and you have stars as big as Martin and Eddie Murphy, you know, in between takes and stuff, when they're doing a new lighting setup or camera move or whatever, then they go back to their trailers and just wait for the set to be ready. But Bernie would hold court and we telling stories. Mm-hmm. He was telling us this one story, and Eddie was sitting there, and he's like, "Yo, man, I was driving down the street and I picked up this hitchhiker. I normally pick up hitchhikers, but I picked up this hitchhiker, and the dude had a big duffel bag with him. Yeah. And the guy said, 'Man, can you help me? Put this in the trunk.' So Bernie was struggling with it. They both struggling to put this thing in the trunk, and it was heavy. And he was like, he said, 'What's in here?' He said, 'None of your motherfucking business.' And Bernie was like, 'Whoa, what the fuck?' Okay, so he put in the car. He's driving. They're driving down. And he said, 'Come on, man, what the fuck is in? What the fuck is in that bag back there? I mean, I'm driving you. What's in that fucking bag?'
Yeah.
He said, 'None of your motherfucking business.' So then Bernie was driving and said, 'Man, well, I ain't got to take you, man. You can get out.' He said, 'Pull over.' And Bernie pulled over, and dude just got out and started running and just ran off.
What the fuck? What the fuck? That was it?
And then Bernie said he went and looked in the trunk and looked in that bag and opened it and saw what was in it.
Okay. Hey, man, somebody get this dude out of here, bro. I ain't got time for this shit.
What you say? Bernie said, huh?
None of your motherfucking business.
None of your motherfucking business.
That's what I was going to ask. I was literally
going
to.
Bernie did that, and Eddie Murphy was like, "Well, nigga, what was in the bag?" And Bernie went, "None of your motherfucking business." And then to get Eddie Murphy,
oh my God,
was like, yo, because Eddie was just like that. He was like, "Fuck, man, what was in the bag?" It's none of your motherfucking business. And it's funny coming from Bernie, because Bernie was the one saying nothing wrong with that. He was the guy that was driving. So when he stopped and said, "Man, I went and looked in that bag, and man, damn, so he stopped. And Eddie Murphy said, "Well, what was in the bag?" And Bernie goes, "None of your motherfucking business." And then that was it.
Bro,
I love this.
Oh my God, that's the dopest shit ever, bro.
Listen, the way his facial expression too, and I'm looking at you, and I was literally about to say, I said, I got it. None of your That's a good one.
Bro, the whole room fell silent. We want to know what's in this bag. What the fuck is in the bag? Oh my God, that's dope.
That's the best one. I know, right? I wanted to know. That's pretty good. That's really good.
Hey, man, I'm going to say this here, man. We don't take these interviews lightly, bro. This has been one of the dopest experiences on our journey.
You say that to everybody, man.
I do. You know what I do? Because if somebody come here and I don't fucking like them or something, I'll just get everybody. You know what I mean? Like I had when we first started out just to see if I could do it. But I want to have somebody who got a story. You know what I mean? You definitely have a story. Like we wasn't going to let you go through here without at least reaching out. You know what I mean? Because we want to get in contact. Those stories right there, those are big. You know what I mean? To us. Like hearing, we regular people. We regular Joe Schmoes.
See, if you keep thinking you're regular, then you're going to be regular.
He trying to tell
Y'all
you.
need friends like this. I keep giving them setup.
Then you're gonna be regular.
Yeah.
I know I'm irregular. You gonna find me on the rack at Ross or Marshall. I'm that shit that the sleeve is a little bit longer than the other sleeve, and they got irregular stamped in the back. The pocket is on the wrong side of the shirt. I'm that nigga.
Okay.
He that Gordon Cottrell.
I'm that Gordon Cottrell.
Hell yeah.
I didn't think you remember that. I thought you don't even know what that is.
Nope, I got you.
Man, this has really been an honor, though, man. Hey, first of all, I don't think we got that much damn knowledge about of a show. Like, as far as how to move through the industry and do things like that, man, people really gonna take some good tips out of this.
People need that, especially our people need that.
Yeah.
And hopefully your listeners grasp onto that, man. Because a lot of, even with comedians, man, I come through towns and I see these black comedians at these clubs, man, and they making mistakes, and no one's telling them they're making mistakes.
Yeah.
And no one's talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And me as an OG and with knowledge, I can't make you funny, but I can give you game. And if I don't, tell you what you're doing wrong or suggest why this club is not booking you or why you don't work a lot,
Yeah.
if I see it, if I don't tell you, that's wrong on my part.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can say, hey, man, a lot of these young comedians thinking the club's hating on them. Hey, I'm getting booked. And then. It ain't the club. They need comedians.
Yeah.
But it's your act. It's not that it's not funny. You got to be versatile. You got to be able to play different type of audiences. You got to be able to play your urban nights. You got to be able to play your mixed crowds. You got to be able to play work clean if you need to be. You got to be able to host. Just because you're funny don't mean you're a good host. It's not about you. It's about the headliner. It's about setting up the show.
Exactly.
It's about your attitude. Yeah, you funny, but motherfuckers work all the time. Ain't as funny as me. That attitude right there is the reason why you ain't working more than other motherfuckers.
As soon as you let the negativity in,
So
it's gonna go down.
yeah, negativity and negativity. God damn it. A lot of it is negativity.
Now do you have that copywritten or
yeah, take that. We're gonna steal some shit from
everybody's taking all my shit.
Hey, they took our shit. We taking God's shit. Write that shit down.
See, that's not how you do it.
When God asked, has anybody ever stolen your? She did, because I'm taking all of this shit. That is good.
Man, well, look, man. We really enjoyed you on this show. When you come back in town, we're going to reach out to you again. Hopefully we've grown bigger, man. I really respect the things that you're doing.
We will be bigger when we see you.
You would have had grown bigger.
Yeah, we're going to be twice. You know what? We're going to be 4 times. Matter of fact, you're going to have to pay us next time you come. Seriously, though, it has been an honor, bro.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Hey, Cortez said give him a shout out. Our co-host is not here.
Fuck his beige ass.
That nigga do look hella beige on this motherfucker.
I saw him on the video. He beige in real life. Keep his yellow ass home.
Hey, man.
With all this chocolate, all this darkness. You said your vanilla ass. No,
hey, Cortez, you heard that shit. Stay at home, bro. We up out of here.
You heard him later.